The UK Art Museum is celebrating its 40th anniversary.
Director Stuart Horodner is here to tell us more about that. Thank you very much for coming in. A big weekend over at the UK Art Museum. What's going on?
Well, in a few hours, we'll be opening 7 simultaneous exhibitions, but for the most part, our downstairs shows tonight feature Susan King, Mike Goodlett, and Hunter Stamps, who are all very well respected and kind of acclaimed Lexington and Kentucky artists.
What is it like to be celebrating this 40th anniversary and to kind of reflect back on where you've been and look ahead?
Well, it's an interesting thing. The museum is 40 years old in that it opened in the Singletary Center, which is also 40 years old, so 1979 being a pretty important year for us. It's an opportunity to look back at, I'm the 5th director in that time frame, so looking back at some of the predecessors and the achievements that they had, but also looking forward to, how we move to continue to be of use on the campus, to continue to be Lexington's museum, and, celebrate. And this year we're spending a lot of time focusing on Lexington and Kentucky artists.
That's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. Yeah. This is by no means the celebration. This is going to continue. What are some of the other things coming up?
Well, upstairs where we house our permanent collection displays and exhibits, we're honoring several of the most prominent and important donors in the history of the museum. So Susan and George Proskauer and Robert May and others who their generosity really formed the most significant holdings that the museum has. We have 5,000 objects that we maintain and preserve and caretake for, but much of their generosity gave us some unbelievable things. So we're honoring them and their contributions as well.
It's a great time to say thank you for that kind of support.
It is, and that's the 40th kind of spirit, I think.
All right, so again, it all kicks off later today, right?
It does. 5:30 opening for members and a 7 o'clock opening for the general public. Mayor Gordon is giving us a proclamation, I hear, later to honor that history as well. So.
Yeah, and a really great time for people who have never been there. And there are people out there who might say, I've never done this. This is the time to come on board.
Sure, and the museum is free, which always helps that access. So you want to see things that might be familiar and you love them, it's free. You want to see things that you're unfamiliar with and you're not sure what you're going to think about it, it's free.
That's even better.
And it's welcoming, and we love that.
The price is right.
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
Good luck with that big celebration.
Well,